Almighty Father, Papa, now you love me so, and you know my name. I give you glory, Abba Father. You know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. You know my name, oh Daddy. You know me, you know my name. I can see your hand in my life. Lord, I see your love upon me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. I dey hear your voice in my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the see. Every time I turn around, now you are the below. Abba Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Jesus, your love, now oh. My master, your kindness, now wonder oh. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. Jesus, you say I be a picking no. Jesus, you say your love go cover me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I look around, now you are the pillow. Abba Father, you know me, you know my name. Abba Father, hey, you know me, you know my name. Papa, you know my name, oh. Hey, you know me, you know my name. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, yelele, yelele.
I say. Okay, thank you very much, Reverend Saman, for that wonderful piece again, telling the people of Ambazonia that Jesus knows your name and knows my name. He knows the name of the Ambazonian people, and we are extremely very grateful for that. All right, let's go over to our program today. We have our Amba history, which is really on right now. And we believe that you are there because we are here. If you believe that we are there and you are there, we would like you to invite other friends and tell them how we are already on. In our program today, our Amba history, we will be receiving our resource person in the person of Mr. jOTANGA, who will be telling us a little bit of a few things that we talked about yesterday. So we want to welcome all of you by sending 21 gun salutes over there to the people on home front, and to let you know that we are here because you are there. And that is the reason why we are actually here, to keep you posted and to inform you of what our history is all about and how it is developing. So I would like to Welcome all of you who are already here, and I want you to just stay put. There is something going on there that we need to put it in order immediately. So just stay tuned as I bring to you the updates of our history, which you need to know. All right, so just go ahead and listen as Reverend Sama concludes with this piece of music. All right, let's go. Reverend Sama, can you go ahead, please? Okay, Reverend Sama seems to have gone out. And let's go back into our program and see what we can do for today. Remember, for these past few days, we have been hearing a lot of stories and a lot of things are coming up, of which we are very privileged to know about. And we are, as our history tells us, we are interceding and making sure that we do the best we can do to have you benefit from what we are actually gleaning and putting you to know, so that you will not be ignorant of what is going on. And so get ready as we bring you these tidbits. I want to inform the Amazonian people that our revolution and our struggle is actually on course. And I want you to know that as we are on course, you are called to be with
recommend
us.
adequate reinforcement structures, procedures, and financially committed leaders to enable the Department of Resource Mobilization to raise more than 5 million US dollars for our revolution through CID, draft and emergency fund drives for 2021 award summary and recommendation. Now, for Bui, we had 103,000, 0.5 US dollars. For Mayu, we had 10,000, 0.7 US dollars. For Ngokentuja, we had 129,105 dollars. For Lebelem, we had 163,000.
Hello, we are sorry for that mix up over there, but it's still part of the show to let you know that Ambazonia is pushing forward. We just jump into a situation where the news was telling us of the recent drafts that Ambazonians have been making to make sure that the people out there should get out of the land of Ambazonia. And she was giving us the figures. One of these days, we shall be putting them together for the Ambazonian people to see and to know that we are not playing. Yes, it's not a joking matter. It's not a playing matter. We are extremely serious. And because we are serious, we want to let every Ambazonian know that the interim government is determined. And because we are determined, we will go ahead and do that which we're supposed to do. Yeah. So while waiting for our technicians to put up the screen, and bring us on board, I would like to introduce to you and let you know that Mr. jOTANGA is very much at the corner. And as he's at the corner, we will not want to waste any more time because we have very brief time. He will be coming in and we will go ahead and be sharing the best that he has for us today. Mr. Jotanga, are you there? If you are there, please come in with me to the studios. Um, there is a technical hitch over there, and our technicians are working to bringing us on board. But our voices could be heard as we are in this dark situation. It does not actually mean that because Ambassador is going to have lights 24/7. But for now, under the oppressive government, even while trying to build up our nation, they still try to put us under darkness. But I want to assure them that this is the last program they are having to keep us in darkness. But the technicians are working very seriously to bring us light so that we can be seen as the people listen to us. Once again, good evening to you, sir, and welcome to ABC. We actually had to step in this time because there are a lot of things that we need to do. So I will hand over the microphone to you to greet the people of Ambazonia, and then we can from there go on. Are you hearing me, sir? No, I can't hear you. Check your microphone. Yeah, you're muted. No, still we can't hear you. Let me see.
God.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Okay,
Hello,
go
can
ahead,
you hear
sir.
me? Okay.
Yes, can hear you 5 on 5.
Okay.
The
Good.
problem was actually me in the studios, not you.
Okay. Okay.
All right, you are right. Okay, go ahead. So, welcome
Okay.
to ABC once again. To our people are sitting quietly and ready to.
Yeah. I thank you very much for the warm welcome, and I will like to thank our people, the people of Amazonia, for their patience. Today, I am going to comment on a, a short video. I think it was just a clip. I think the Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic made a very long interview, but I had only a clip that interests me, and I would like to comment on that clip. In the clip I'm talking about, the Honorable Prime Minister of La Republique was was being interviewed by somebody I think is from Equinox, and they were asking him questions. And first of all, he was speaking in Pidgin, which is unusual, but it looks like they are beginning to copy us. And then he went on to explain. He explained the package, which is called special status. So he highlighted a few things. He talked about. He said. He said he made the distinction between regional assembly and regional council. He said it was the journalist who drew his attention to that. So he said Southern Cameroon is going to be special. Amazonia, well, he didn't say Amazonia, but he meant Amazonia is going to be special. It's not going to be the same thing like the other 8 regions. They are going to have regional councils, whereas Amazonia is going to have regional assemblies. And so that was the first difference he pointed out. And then he went on to give four main points of the special status package. The first one was the educational system. He said the Amazonians will have their own educational system. I'm saying Amazonian is my word, not his. He didn't use that. They are going to have, they are going to preserve their own system of education, and whenever the government wants to tamper with it in any way, it will consult the regional assemblies in Bamenda and Boya. He said uh, the respective legal systems will be preserved. That is the common law system in Amazonia will stay, as well as the civil law in the other parts of the country. And he further said there will be development agencies. That is, they will be going back to those things which the government in Yaoundé had spent so many years dismantling, like the development agencies. So they are going to revive them. Those were the things he said. But he also said another thing that intrigued me. He said there will be independent conciliators. I would like us to examine that more. Yeah. So those are the things that will distinguish us from the other people from the other regions who will be called uh, regional councils, and we will be called regional assembly. Yeah. That's the summary of what he said.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jotanga. I have a few concerns that I want you to explain to the people of Ambazonia, because I see that uh, Mr. Gute is of age and should have known a little bit of the history that we are explaining to the Ambazonian people. Do you think that he is actually practicing the intellectual dishonesty of so many of La Republic intellectuals per se, because he has been there? Or is he actually talking what is real? And if he knows a little bit of the history, which I think that an average Ambazonia knows, that 1st of January 1960, we were not with La Republic when they had their purported independence. And we only came into the scene after about almost 2 years. 1 year
20
and
months. 20
20 months.
months.
Yeah, exactly 20 months. Yeah, 20 months. Now, if we came into the scene after 20 months, is Mr. Nguti or Ngute, whatever they call himself, sincere to think that, and that coming in to join La Republic after 20 months, were we coming in as subjects, or were we coming in as equals, as the plan was to be? Now, if he says we're coming in as subjects, then he might be right in telling us that they are giving us special status more than the other people. But if we came in as equals, as it is known all over, who gave La Republic the audacity and the power to usurp and begin to give us, who were equals, now begin to apportion to us what they think is good? Now, with all that, the one single question I want to ask you to elaborate and let the Ambazonians know if Mr. Gute is being controlled by intellectual dishonesty or something is getting wrong. Over to you, sir.
Well, I'll just start with your question, and I will point out right away that we shouldn't forget that the in the system of government in La Republique, the prime minister is powerless. He doesn't have any powers. He takes orders from on high and applies them. He doesn't decide for himself. It's not like he was appointed prime minister and then he went on to form his government. That's not it. He was appointed prime minister and he was given a list of uh, government ministers to go and run them. That's all. So he takes orders, he takes his marching orders right from the presidency, and that's how it works in that country. So it is not him speaking; he's speaking the mind of the people who from whom he takes instructions. If, to be honest, if the honorable prime minister were to were to take those decisions himself, he would have been much fairer than uh, than what he is proposing now. He would have been much more generous, more liberal. But he is speaking there under constraints. He cannot give what he has not been authorized
True.
to give. Yeah, that's how it is. You cannot change that. Uh, it has always been that way. Um, there have been cases where the prime minister, not this one, has taken a decision and one of his ministers has overruled that decision. I will give you one example. When late uh, uh, Prime Minister Chidiachu was the prime minister, when Achidachu was the prime minister, there was a time when they were going to sell the Sode cotton. So the cotton is in the north. I think it's in Garwa or somewhere.
Right,
Uh,
right.
it's a textile company, and the elites of the north came together and put some money together, created a holding company that was now going to buy the Sode cotton because they want to maintain control of it. They came down to Yaoundé and met the prime minister and showed him their plan how they are going to develop the textile company, so the cotton. And the prime minister, late Honorable Achidachu, authorized the sale of Sode cotton to that group of people from the north. Then, when his Minister of Finance and Economy, Justin Ndioro, that's his name, he was a guy from Bafia. When he knew about that, he reversed the decision. He said no, and his decision stood. And instead, the company was sold to a French company that already had 25% control of the Sode cotton. The company's name is CFDT, which stands for Compagnie Française du Développement du Coton. So they became they got controlling shares in the Sode cotton. You see, the prime minister took a decision and a minister under him reversed it. That just shows you how much power the prime minister
Yeah,
doesn't have. Yeah. The
yeah.
the 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 prime minister in that system is like a knife without a blade. It cannot cut. Yeah. I have heard people call the prime minister, they say he is the keeper of the prime minister's office. Yeah, no powers. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jutanga. I think the people of Ambazonia are listening and listening very keenly to know that even in this struggle where La Republique would have been doing some little things to make us to think that some powers have been given into our hands, they are still playing the old trick. And Mr. Jutanga, you will permit me, I always talk from another aspect that this is not normal, because if Joseph Ngute was sincere to himself and really a man for himself and not under a spell, he would not have been telling all these lies that is being chewed and given to swallow. At least he would have for once made the Ambazonian people to know that he has a position. And when I come on the air in our history and I point out to most of our people that some of these people who are over there have been under a spell, it's not only the money, there is a power that is pushing them here and pushing them there. And a few days ago, that's day before yesterday, in our hour of freedom, I suggested to the Ambazonian people to get over to Dr. Ngute, and that yesterday was going to be a deliverance hour by Reverend Dr. Victor on ABC, and Mr. John Ngute could be a profiteer. He could profit from that deliverance, because now I do understand that many Ambazonians are under a spell. Now let's cross over. I was reading a book written by Mr. Let me see. That book is written by Jetyen jOTANGA, and I suspect you are the person. Reading that book, I came across a place where I saw some prominent Ambazonians that spearheaded the what they call the AAC1 and the AAC2. And today, when I go back and look at what they said and the decisions they arrived at and the way they were so serious about getting us stand as people and act like peoples and not like robots, I look at it today and I see what they are saying today, and it baffles me. I come to a conclusion that most of the people that are sitting under the payroll of La République du Cameroon, they are not just getting a payroll, they are under a deep spiritual ditch. And that spiritual ditch is demonic, is satanic, it's not from God. And I would like you to make a comment as far as these people are concerned, so that Ambazonians will know that anybody that has anything to do with La République du Cameroon is not just physical, it's something much more than just physical. There is a spiritual attachment to what is going on there. And when you have made that comment, I will come in with a solution to tell the Ambazonian people what they can do to get out of that spell. Now, what you wrote in that book, can you ascertain that these people who are talking today were the ones who spoke at that time? Over to you, sir.
Of course, they are the same people who spoke then, but their views have changed for various reasons. Remember, we have already talked about something called self-interest.
Yes.
Self-interest is a very powerful and compelling force. If you you want to follow, to protect, to advance your self-interest, nothing can stop you. You just keep on going because that's all you want. Your self-interest could be money. You want the money to do things you want to do, to control other people and all that. So you will go for it if it's money. And that is a very compelling force, as I have said. Some people are under the spell of money. They are. Give the money and they will drop every other thing and follow you. Uh, so there is another spiritual spell, as you are suggesting. I cannot refute that, but to me, as an economist, I am thinking as an economist. So I know that self-interest is very powerful and it can lead and mislead people. Yeah. So
Yes, Mr. Jotanga, I think there is something beyond self-interest in this particular matter, because I would like to think that the way these guys spoke when they started speaking, and when they saw the plight of the average Ambazonia, not to talk of this time that La Republic has come out full fledged to kill them, as they did with the Basas and the other tribes that were wanted to stand for a real independence in La Republic. So they are unleashing the same thing. And in this 21st century, with the history that has happened before, we should definitely have these people, our Amazonians, have wisdom to know where to stand. So I am thinking that it's not only the self-interest, there's something very, very spiritual about it. What do you think?
you could be right. They may do it. They may just be following because they are under a spell. But even the person who is giving them orders, who has put them under the spell, he has some interest he is pursuing, and that's it. So one way or the other, somebody is pursuing their self-interest and they are compelling others by spiritual or by some other means. They are compelling others to do their bidding so that they can achieve, they can promote and protect their self-interest. It comes down to the same thing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it comes out to be the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, people of Ambazonia, please hear this and hear this very well from us, the Ambazonian people who are talking to you. We are out here to educate you, to let you know that as far as our land is concerned, Ambazonia, we are going back to the roots where the people's gods remained with them. And when it came to the government, we had only one Almighty, and that is Him with whom we deal in Ambazonia. But when you cross over to the Republic, they have subjugated everybody to be under their God, either the Isinga group or other fraternal groups, and you are being remote control against your will. But when you are in Ambazonia, we all come under the Almighty God, who gives you your will, gives you your freedom, and you do as you want to do, and your gods belong to you. You can carry them anywhere and do what you want to do with them, but when it comes to government issues and community, those gods have nothing to do. And because we have recognized and realized that our God is almighty, Ambazonia has been turned over to the Almighty God, and God has produced deliverance ministers, like we are telling John Bute and the rest of the Ambazonian people, who suddenly find themselves talking what they were not talking yesterday, who suddenly find themselves, though they have the sympathy, but they don't have the empathy to do what they're supposed to do for the community of the Ambazonian people that La Republic has brought under subjugation. Now, Mr. Jotanga, what advice do you think you can give to these people? Because we see that sincerely, these people are under a gall of bitterness and they are unable to actually do what they are supposed to do. What advice will you give to these Ambazonian people, knowing fully well that our land has been handed over to the Lord Jesus Christ, who can deliver and has delivered and is ready to deliver those who trust in him? What can you say? Over to you, sir.
Well, I don't know whether they even realize that they are under a spell. It's very difficult to know that. Maybe the day they will know that, they will try to fight and get out of that spell. All I know is that we as a people have to keep on fighting to liberate our country. So after we are out of there, they will suddenly realize that they are standing naked, and the protection they used to have is no longer there. So they will scramble to find something to put on themselves to cover, to hide their nakedness. Yeah. Until then, we have to continue to struggle, to educate, and do all what we can. I would like to go back to the original thing we I started with. That is the status that La Republic is proposing to us. Uh, the prime minister, I said that, for instance, that there was a public independent conciliator, which the two regions will have, the will have, and the others will not have. The other regions, the eight regions of the country, will not have. The two regions will have conciliators, independent conciliators. And he went on to talk about the function of the conciliators. He said there will be watchdogs. He said that. They used the word watchdogs. So they will be there to babysit. This is my expression, not his. They will be there to babysit the regional assemblies in Boya and in Bamenda. They'll be there to babysit them, because he said when they see that they are going do something wrong, they will call them to order.
Yes, it doesn't go. Okay, let me go off the air now. Wow. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Jota.
I didn't finish saying what I was saying. Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr.
Impression
Jotanga.
that leaves me with the impression that uh, La Republique is considering our people as kids. We are not yet matured. The others who are matured will just have their regional councils, and they will run them. We who are not matured, we who are still kids, will have somebody to babysit us. So they will appoint. They will not elect. We will not elect. They will appoint public independent conciliators. That's it. So they will be the ones to come and watch over us and control us in the place of Yaoundé. That's what they are saying. That reminds me of something, of the bitter experience we have had with the government delegates in the city councils. The government delegates. Whenever an opposition party is elected to run the council of a city, the government of a city, Yaoundé imposes a government delegate. Yeah, the government delegate is there to frustrate the elected councillors from doing their work. He will be the one to control the money purse, the purse containing the budget. He will be the one to control the budget. So the purse strings will be in his hands. And then the council cannot do the work they have promised to do before they got elected. And that is the same role which the public independent conciliators are going to play in the southern in our region. That's what they are going to
Because
do.
they are appointed by the same person.
Yes, they are appointed. So they owe
Yeah.
allegiance. They owe allegiance to Yaoundé, and they report to Yaoundé. They don't report to us. They are there to babysit the assemblies. They are not members of the assemblies, but they will be there to control them. That reminds me. That reminds me of another thing that happened even earlier. You know, shortly after we came together in a failed union, the government of Ahijo created the position of Federal Inspection of Administration, Federal Inspector of Administration. He was appointed. They called him J. Singo. He came to Boya, and even though Dr. Foncha was not only Prime Minister of the government of Boya, but also Vice President of the Republic, he thought he was a higher authority than the Vice President of the Republic of Cameroon. He thought that, and he behaved like that. So because he was sent there to come and control, he was not elected. They don't like to give power to people who are elected. They like to give power to people they can control because they appointed them. That's their system. It
Well,
goes back.
Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Conclude,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Come again?
Yes. No, you can go ahead. I can stop there for
No,
now.
yeah, I was saying that you should just go ahead and conclude. Our time is up, and I want to thank
Okay.
you very much, yeah, for coming in again to buttress the people of Ambazonia of our current events that are turning into history.
Uh,
So your last statement.
should I conclude now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a very important point I am going to make now. I kept it for the last. Any
Yeah.
kind of setup that doesn't provide for the means of raising funds to accomplish what that setup is meant to do is dead on arrival. You may do all you want. If you don't have the means of raising your own funds, you cannot accomplish what you plan to do. So that special status might mean nothing as long as the people of those zones do not have the means of raising their own funds. It means that they will continue to eat from the palm of whoever set them up, which is not good. The person only needs to close their palm, and the setup will go bankrupt. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Jotanga, for coming in and being with us to let the Amazonian people know the current events that are turning into history, and who and of course they were there, but many people don't know, so that they can understand that the tricks of La Republique has been going on forever. With that note, I want to say thank you for coming and looking forward to seeing you in our next program. People of Amazonia, this has been our Amba history. God bless and see you next time. Don't go away. We are